The Vrex were death incarnate. Every species in the Galactic Council knew this truth. The Vrex stood 3 meters tall, their obsidian exoskeletons harder than military-grade armor plating. 4 arms ended in claws that could shear through steel. Their mandibles could crush bone. Their eyesight detected 15 different spectrums. They were apex predators who had conquered their homeworld before they learned to make fire. When the Vrex joined the galactic community 2 centuries ago, every civilization trembled. The Vrex Dominion controlled 40 systems within a decade. Not through war, though they could wage it, but through the simple fact that no one dared oppose them. Ambassador Trell of the Harmonic Assembly once made the mistake of insulting a Vrex delegate during trade negotiations. The Vrex warrior, Commander Voss, had simply looked at Trell for 3 long seconds. Trell's protective guards fled the room. Trell himself required medical intervention for stress-induced cardiac arrest. Voss never moved from his seat. That was the Vrex way. They didn't need to fight. Their presence was violence enough, so when Captain James Rodriguez received orders to report to Vrex territory, he assumed he was being sent to die. Perhaps he had offended someone in command. Perhaps humanity had finally pushed too far in their expansion into contested space. Either way, when a Vrex battlecruiser demanded a human ship approach their fortress world of Crag, refusal meant war. Rodriguez was a career officer, 32 years in the fleet. He had seen combat against pirates and participated in the Kellen border disputes. He was not easily frightened. But as his small diplomatic vessel descended through Crag's crimson atmosphere toward the obsidian towers of the Vrex capital, his hands shook. The landing pad was enormous, designed for Vrex proportions. When Rodriguez disembarked with his security detail of 2 nervous Marines, he felt like an insect approaching a temple. Vrex warriors lined the plaza, each one a monument to lethality. High Commander Thane approached. He was larger than any Vrex Rodriguez had seen in briefings, his exoskeleton decorated with scars that told stories of 100 battles. When Thane spoke, his voice resonated in frequencies that made Rodriguez's teeth ache. "Captain Rodriguez of Earth, you will come." It was not a request. They walked through corridors sized for giants. The Marines stayed close to Rodriguez, hands near their sidearms, though they all knew their weapons would be useless here. Eventually, they entered a vast chamber that seemed to serve as both throne room and command center. Dozens of Vrex filled the space. Not warriors, Rodriguez realized. These Vrex were different, smaller, their exoskeletons lighter in color. Scientists, perhaps, or administrators. Thane gestured to the center of the room, where a strange structure stood. It looked like a crystalline tree, its branches holding what appeared to be eggs, each the size of a human head, pulsing with inner light. "You understand what these are," Thane said. Rodriguez stared. "Vrex eggs? Our children. The next generation of the Dominion." Thane approached the structure, and for the first time, Rodriguez saw something besides menace in a Vrex's movements. Thane touched one egg gently with a claw that could have torn Rodriguez in half. "For 2,000 years, we have faced a problem that threatens our extinction." Rodriguez blinked. "Extinction? But your species is thriving. In numbers, yes. In survival of offspring, no." Another Vrex stepped forward, her voice softer but still resonant. "I am Scholar Kresh. I have studied this crisis for 60 years. Captain, what do you know of Vrex reproduction?" "Very little. Your species is private about such matters. We must be, because it reveals our greatest weakness." Kresh activated a hologram showing Vrex biology. "Our eggs require 18 months of gestation in carefully controlled environments. Temperature, humidity, radiation levels, even sound frequencies must be precisely maintained. In nature, on our homeworld, the parent guards the eggs constantly. For 18 months, a Vrex adult does not hunt, does not sleep, does not leave. They simply guard. Rodriguez began to understand. But in modern civilization, we cannot afford such devotion, Thane interrupted. The Dominion requires our warriors, our builders, our leaders. We created artificial incubation facilities, automated systems to maintain the eggs. They failed, Rodriguez said quietly, spectacularly. Crush's mandibles clicked in what might have been grief. Our eggs die. Not all, but enough. 60% mortality in facility incubation. Genetic defects in the survivors. We tried better technology, more sophisticated monitoring, eye control systems. Nothing works. Our population grows older, while our children die in machines that should protect them. Thane moved closer to Rodriguez. The human forced himself not to retreat. Then we observed something. Human childcare facilities. Rodriguez felt lost. What? We studied many species seeking solutions. Most species lay eggs and abandon them, or use simple automation. But humans are different. Human infants are helpless, requiring years of constant care. And humans don't simply automate this care, though you could. You employ caregivers, living beings who watch the children. Crush projected images of human daycare centers, nurseries, hospitals. We were confused at first. Why use fallible organic beings when machines are more precise? Then we understood. Humans don't just monitor life signs and environmental conditions. You respond to needs that cannot be quantified. A cry that means hunger versus a cry that means discomfort. A child who seems healthy by all measurements, but somehow isn't thriving. You have intuition. We tested a theory, Thane said. 3 years ago, we asked for human volunteers to work in our incubation facilities. Not to replace our systems, but to supplement them. Humans who would simply be present, watch the eggs, trust their instincts. And, Rodriguez asked, mortality dropped to 12%. The surviving hatchlings were healthier, stronger. We expanded the program. More humans, more facilities. Now mortality is at 8% and falling. Rodriguez stared at the eggs. You want more human volunteers? No. Thane's 4 eyes fixed on Rodriguez. We want a formal alliance. We want Earth to establish permanent communities on Vrex worlds. We want humans integrated into our society specifically to care for our children. The magnitude hit Rodriguez like a physical blow. You're the most dangerous species in the galaxy. You trust no one. But you want to give us access to your most vulnerable? Yes, Kresh said simply. Because in this, we must trust. Our children die when we rely only on machines and protocol. They live when we accept help from beings who understand care beyond programming. Rodriguez thought of every species in the galaxy cowering before Vrex might. If others knew you were this vulnerable, they would attack, Thane agreed. Which is why this arrangement benefits Earth as well. Any species that threatens human worlds will face immediate Vrex retaliation. Any species that harms a human caregiver on a Vrex world commits an act of war against the Dominion. You're offering us protection. We are offering partnership. We will defend humanity as we defend our own, because you will be raising our own. Rodriguez looked at his Marines. They seemed stunned. He felt stunned. Humanity had spent decades trying to establish themselves in galactic politics, always aware they were weaker than most species. Now the Vrex, the deadliest civilization in known space, wanted humans not as soldiers or servants, but as trusted guardians of their future. I need to consult with Earth, Rodriguez managed. Of course. But understand this. Thane approached one of the eggs, his massive form somehow gentle. That human caregivers succeed where our technology fails tells us something profound. Perhaps being apex predators made us forget how to be vulnerable, how to trust. how to recognize that strength alone cannot nurture life. Humans remember this. You remained caregivers even as you built machines that could replace you. Kresh added, "Your species has a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. We are asking if your village will help raise ours." Rodriguez spent the next hour touring facilities where human volunteers worked among Vrex eggs. He saw a grandmother from Buenos Aires adjusting humidity controls because she insisted the air felt too dry, though sensors said otherwise. She was right. He watched a young man from Lagos sitting beside an egg, reading aloud from a book because he claimed the hatchling responded to his voice. The Vrex scientists confirmed the egg's vitals improved during reading sessions. Everywhere, he saw the deadliest species in the galaxy deferring to human judgment about their most precious resource. When Rodriguez returned to Earth, the debate was fierce. Some feared a trap. Others saw opportunity. But in the end, parents understood. The images of those eggs, pulsing with life, needing more than machines could give, resonated. The treaty was signed within 6 months. Now, a decade later, thousands of humans live on Vrex worlds. They are paid well, protected absolutely, and honored beyond measure. When a Vrex warrior introduces his family, he names his parents and his human caregiver in the same breath. The galaxy still fears the Vrex, but they have learned to fear humanity too, because humanity stands under the protection of apex predators, who entrust them with the only thing predators truly value, their children. And in nurseries across Vrex space, human hands adjust temperature controls that don't need adjusting. Human voices read stories that might not be understood. And human intuition guards lives that all the technology in the galaxy could not salve.